All right. We are recording. All right. Did I manage to disconnect myself? We still okay?
You're good.
Excellent. All right. So, welcome, Sam. My brother Stevik. I'll be covering for Brother Kirkland while he is out for the next couple weeks. How you doing, Michael? Good to see you again. So, what we're gonna do today is we're just gonna talk about in these sessions, I just talk about the code that's gonna be in this week's lesson, and then I'll answer any questions y'all have. If you have any questions on the final project, this is the time to ask them, because we can discuss them in depth. All right. So to start, were there any questions from last week's lessons or the weeks before that anyone would like to address before I begin with week 5? All right. So week 5, we're using we're just again it's last week was all about inner joins. This week's about using the command union, the command intersect, and the command accept. Um, this is probably only those commands have been in the lessons for this course for the last 6 years, but the irony is they've only been able to work in MySQL for the last year and a half because they were just added into it. Like I've said before, um, all databases, Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, MongoDB, Cassandra, Postgres, NoSQL, all of those all use the Transact SQL language, but they don't all have the bits and pieces that other ones do. They have little weird idiosyncrasies and stuff like that. So it wasn't until recently that intersect and accept actually hit this particular engine. All right, so we're just gonna. I got 15 code examples here. I'm gonna go through, and then I'll ask if you have any questions. We'll go there, and then we'll talk about the final project a little bit. And if there's nothing after that, we will call it a night. Sam, where are you located? Are you out west? You east? Where you live?
I'm in Rexburg,
Okay.
so I'm just taking sequel online. I wanted to take it in person, but I it like conflicted with my temple shift.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. The Orlando Temple. I'm in Orlando, Florida,
Oh,
and the
cool.
Orlando Temple closed a couple months ago, 7 months ago, and it was supposed to be closed for like 6, 7 months. It looks like it's gonna be down for like 2.5 years.
Oh gosh, that's tough. Where's
Yeah.
the besides Orlando? Where's the nearest temple?
There's actually two. There's one in Tallahassee and there's one in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So actually, by the end of 2029, there'll be 5 temples in Florida.
Whoa,
Yeah,
that's
one.
always nice.
Yeah, it's really weird if you look at the map, it makes a giant cross.
Huh.
So
Cool.
yeah, so we actually just went down to Fort Lauderdale last weekend, and we got tickets. We're going to my boys live in Logan, so we're heading up there for the first week in December. So we're gonna hit as many temples as we can while we're there to get
Oh, that's
until
fun.
the one here in Orlando gets fixed up. Yeah, they opened the walls and found a lot of mold.
Oh gosh.
That's Florida though.
Fair enough.
Yep. All right. So we're gonna talk about the union operator, the intersect operator. We're gonna talk about the accept operator, and how it. Hey, Laura.
Hi.
I'm assuming you're in Brother Kirkland's class. Kirkland's class.
Yeah, I
Okay,
am.
that's cool. I'm just making sure I got to remember who's in what class. Not that it makes a difference because everyone's welcome here. Um, all right. As a matter of fact, if you guys, I use the same link every week. So after Brother Kirkland gets back, if you want to come and hang with us on Wednesdays, you're more than welcome. On Tuesdays, rather, you're more than welcome to. We talk about the same stuff. Right. So we're gonna talk about the union operators, the intersect operators, and the accept operators. So the union operator is tantamount to an inner join. It's a join operator, but it's not as elegant as inner join because basically you say, give me the information from this table, the information from this table, and you're going to put them together into one response, but it's not it's not doing anything real. It's really a shotgun effect. So let me just show you what I'm talking about here. So here I've got select first name from actor and then first name from staff. So these are pretty straightforward commands. If I ran this on its own, it's going to give me 202 results. I run this one on its own. It gives me 2 results. So if I run the two of these together, it's going to give me one response table with all the first names from both tables combined. I don't know which one's from which table. And I see that there are 203 rows returned. So it just took everything from here. Now, the difference in this is if I look here and I see union, right? I've got union all. So union gives me all the first names from actor and staff that are there, but does not give me any duplicates. If I run this one, you'll notice I went to, I get an error. Nope, I get, there we are. There we are. Here we are. I get 204 rows returned because the first one here removed all the duplicates, so only 131 rows returned. Here, all the duplicates are there, so I get 204 rows returned. Now, we can get a little fancier with this. I can say select first name from actor, and I can make an order by first name. So now here, this is not in order. I'm going to do the order here, and that'll work. And the column here is called first name because that's the column name it has from there coming in. So both of them first name here, right? So there's that. So now I can order by. So I can do a little thing there. And since I'm unioning and not unioning at all, I remove the duplicates. I can also do this. I can do select the word actor and call it role, and then first name from actor, and I can select the word staff and then first name from staff. So when I run this time, I now have a separate table, a separate column rather, and it tells me what table they came from. Now, here's the thing about this. I got a couple more stuff here, but I want to just point this out here. So you'll see I have first name from actor, first name from staff. The problem with unions is it doesn't care what column I use. As long as the columns, as long as the select statements have the same amount of columns selected, it doesn't care. So if I go here under customer or under staff, let me see, staff here. And I've got an email. So if I change this and bring this email instead from staff, and I run this, it still works. But when I go down here, I will see an email as opposed to a name at some point in time. Yeah, see. So unions, they kind of work really, they do well for what they're supposed to do, but they're pretty dumb. They don't get really complicated here. They just give me two select statements that have the same amount of columns in it, and give me the results, and I'll put them together. And whatever the name of the column in the first row is what it's going to be in the second row. Because here, even though this is email, it's called first name. And here I can do this with, I can make a more complicated query, first name with actors, with last name like S, first name from staff with staffs like S, and run that. And it just limits it there. That makes sense? The union commands make sense, everybody? They're very, very simple. The practical use for these, the one example I've always talked about in class is, let's say you own a bookstore and you bought another bookstore, another independent chain bookstore, and you want to merge the databases together. You can write a union statement to see what the individual customers that you have, where you've got duplicates, where you've got things there. So that's a good thing to do. You could like do select first name, last name for customer from my business, and first name, last name from next other business, and kind of compare the tables that way. But really, they are a brute force way of looking at tables, and they're not elegant at all. So when we look at intersect, intersect is exactly what you think it would be. It takes it and just shows me. Remember when I did the Venn diagram last week? I had the my Venn diagram. I had my two circles. Here's my one circle. Here's my other circle, and then that one's the blue one. That one's the red one, and this one's the green one. So if I do an inner join, it's here. This is the inner join. If I do a left join, it's the blue circle plus the green part. Uh, if I do a right join, it's the red circle plus the green part and everything else here. We're going to get to the left right joins next week. I don't want to get into those too deep because they're a little more advanced. But intersect does what join does. It just gives you where they match up. So here, where I say select first name from actor and select first name from staff, they're only show me where they're the same. And only John is the same. So out of the 204 rows we saw before, the only one that's the same is the name John. So intersect's a really fast way to compare two tables and shows me where the names match. If I change this to accept, it's going to show me everything in actor except the ones that are in staff. And there's a lot more there. If I reversed the names here, the tables here would make a difference. If I reverse the tables here, it absolutely would make a difference. So if I do this, and run this, it will be a different result set. Everyone still with me?
Yeah, so basically that's just finding a name that's both in staff and in actor,
That's what intersect does.
right?
It shows me ones that are in both.
And then accept is a name that's not in or is in staff but not in actor.
Correct. So I mean, again, what I said before, like at the start of the semester, the T-SQL is just English. So we know what intersect means and what accept means, so we just add those here. Um, we can use aggregates in here. Now you're gonna notice something here. This breaks a rule. So I've got select actor as role, select actor as role, count as count from actor, select staff, count from staff. Now, the past 4 weeks, I've hammered into the fact that if you use an aggregate, you must have a group by command for the column that is not aggregated. Why don't I have a group by command here?
Because you want everything?
Because that's not a column. That's just a word.
Okay.
So what this is returning is giving me the count from the actor table and the count from the staff table and just attaching this word to it. Okay. And the rest of the commands here are just joining, getting a little fancier. Here we got select first name from actor where last name is like B. Select first name from a staff where last name's like B. And we run this, and it shows us 20 rows. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be 20. Yeah, 22. And then there's here. And there's 2. So yeah. Here, let's mix an inner join. Now, like I said last week, if you see the word join without anything in front of it, it's by default an inner join. Selecting title from film, film category, joining to film category on film ID, where category equals 1, and I'm unioning where category equals 2. So I'm seeing which movies share multiple categories. So if I look at this one here, just run it by itself, I have 64 movies that are returned. Or on this one by itself, I have 66 movies that are returned. So I want to see which movies share categories 1 and 2. And these are the ones, 130 of them that share the categories. Actually, all of them share categories. Actually, no. This is, I'm sorry. This isn't, I'm taking both of them together. So if I add it here, yeah. So I'm sorry that this is union, not intersecting. So it's giving me everything. So to have 130 movies, because it's giving me everyone with every Caddyshack Jetty. So here, now I'm intersecting. I'm showing, show me the ones that are in 1 and in 2. And that one results is 0 because there's nothing that shares categories here. And this one is the accept. So show me what has category 1, but doesn't have category 2. And that's going to be 66 rows because we know that there's nothing that shares the categories. Okay. And the rest are pretty much the same thing. So with this intersect here, select first name, last name from actor, intersecting first name, last name from staff, running that, nothing matches. Doing it with accept, I get 201 returned, 201 rows returned. And that is the code for this week. It's just insert, intersect. I'm sorry, it's insert, intersect, accept, and union, and some fancier joins. Are there any questions on these? All right. If there are no questions on these, so now I just want to take the remaining time we have today. If anyone wants to talk about now, Sam and Laura, I don't know how much you guys have talked about the final project. Have you guys been talking about the final project in your class at all with Brother Kirtland?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it at all. I just looked
Okay.
on Canvas and the only thing that I could find about the final project was in week 13 it says final course project option.
Okay, so let me show you guys what this is all about then. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second here so I can pull up the screen that I need to pull up without like revealing anyone's grades. I was grading before I logged in here. Okay, so let me go to the page I need here. And for those of you guys in my class, it's gonna be a bit of a repeat, but that's okay. All right. So let me go ahead and share my screen again. Where'd Zoom go? Okay, there's Zoom. Okay. And we share screens again. All right. So if you look in week 3, you have here final option. I can't link this to you guys who are in Brother Kirkland's class because each class has a different designation. But if you look into your week 3, you'll see final options right there. So the final project, and you click that, you get to here. And when you click here, this is what the final project is. So If you don't want to do the final exam, you can do a final project instead. Um, the final exam is open book, open notes, open friends, open chat GPT, open whatever it is you want to do with it. You put the question and find it, and that's cool. Knock yourself out. That's absolutely something that you can do. The final project was built in a couple of years ago to give the students an opportunity to actually design a database from scratch on your own. There are 6 things that need to be presented in the final project by week 13. The first is actually due by the end of this week, but since I'm with you guys for the next 3 weeks, if you choose to do the final project and then don't get that into me until next week or week after, that's cool. It just you want to have a good amount of time to do the final project. First, you got to decide what you're going to do. What kind of database you're going to do? What kind of business do you want to run? What's the kind of thing it is? In previous semesters, I've had students who I had one student. I don't know if I told you guys about this in my class. I had one student who did a database for food storage for his house, but he also linked it to a recipe database. So he could, when he ran his queries, he could say, "Show me recipes. I've got the stuff to make in the house." So that was really kind of cool. It took a lot of work. It ended up being like 47 tables, and it took him a lot of time. Don't do that. Make it simple on yourself. Um, so I've had parents, people do databases to track children's activities for school type programs. I had one guy who was a chemist who did a database to track his chemistry experiments. That was fun because I know databases, but I don't know chemistry. So that was an enjoyable experience. Learn a little bit for there. So basically, anything you can think of that you want to build a database off of, and basically your proposal is here's the business and here's what I want to make the database to do. What it's going to store, what's the purpose of it, who's going to use it, stuff like that. The next thing is you need to create the schema for the database. If I use any words, Sam, that you or Laura don't get, jump at me and ask. So, you got to create a schema for the database, and essentially what that is, if I go over here and I open up one of my models, and I open up my NASA model, which is why are you not there, NASA model? Oh, there you are. Nope, that's the WMB. That's not what I want. I want the WMB. All right. So here's my NASA model. I made this database. You can go over it real quick. I created a table called missions, and then I've got a table called spacecraft. So that tells me what spacecraft went on the mission. The destination tells me where the mission went to. The location launched, where the mission lifted off from. I have an astronauts table to tell me which astronauts went on the mission and the class of the spaceship, which is here. Anyway, so I designed this in here. And so that's what you need to do. You just need to design a database based on whatever it is you want to build the business off of. And I will, in the announcement for your guys' class, I'll put the link to, I didn't hit the record button last week, so I don't have what I did last week, but I'll give you the link to my video from last semester where we designed a database, because on the week 4 video, I designed a database from scratch. And how to do it. But you design it in here. You make sure it's got the levels of normalization. And then when this is done, you go to database, you go to forward engineer, and then you hit next a bunch of times, and it creates the script for you. It generates the script for you to create the database. The only thing you have to do here is change that MyDB to whatever you want to call your database. If not, it'll call it MyDB. Okay. Okay, so here. Then you've got to write code to populate the data. Each table should have about 10 to 15 rows in it. because you'll have to write queries to you have to write queries to create the data, write queries to select the data and show how you'd use it. What I have suggested recently for people to do is once you have your schema, the code to build your database, if you have a AI, your favorite AI engine, you can feed it that schema and say, give me 15 inserts for each table, and it will provide you 15 rows inserts for each table. It's very handy and saves a lot of time, and I'm totally cool with you doing that. Make sure you tell it's for MySQL and not anything else, or it'll get a little weird. Then you've got to write CRUD operations. Basically, I need you to show me statement insert new rows. These will actually all be these two kind of go together here, CRUD operations and advanced SQL views. Basically, I want you to create what's called a use case. And a use case is how would someone use this database to get the data? What's the purpose of it? So when we look back over here to this one, what are some queries I can write off this to get information out? I could see like how many missions did we have that went to the International Space Station? That launched from Fort Lauderdale or from Port Canaveral. How many missions had 4 astronauts? How many missions were flown by a specific spacecraft? Things along those lines. So you write those queries, and you tell me why. What was the purpose? Why would someone use this? So you want to write at least 5 advanced queries using aggregate functions, grouping or subqueries and joins, and then add and then write queries that retrieve the data, update the data, and delete the data. Okay. I'm gonna ignore this one because I'm gonna erase that because I don't want you to make an index for CRUD operations. It's silly and complicated. I don't know why I put it there. So I redid the project, just so you know, I redid this 2 semesters ago, and this is my beta testing, so I'm still polishing it up. And then your final thing that you need to turn in is a PowerPoint presentation or a quick video explaining your project. The overview, the ERD, demonstrates functionality, and how hard was it to make. So whichever you want to do. So all in all, this is what you turn in. It is, again, the proposal, the schema, the insert statements, the use case studies, and then the PowerPoint. So there's 5 things you turn in. That was a really fast and incomplete explanation, and Sam and Laura, I'm sure you understood that perfectly.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I just have a question about if we opted to take the test, is it a timed test?
No. Oh wait, I think you like 3 hours to take it.
And how long is it?
Hang on, let me see. I don't remember. I can tell you though. I can tell you 3 hours is more than enough time because the questions you get in the test are the same questions you had on the quizzes.
Okay.
So there's not a lot of surprises there. I think it's like 100. Let me see. Let me not guess. Let me tell you exactly what it is. I'll give you all the details on this. Go over here to final exam. It is. You have 180 minutes, which is 3 hours, and that doesn't how many questions there are. Let me dig a little deeper here. I don't think anyone's ever actually asked me how many questions are on the exam. Oh, it's 5. It's 5 questions per area, and there are 13 areas, so that's 45 questions.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
not too bad. I
Oh,
just
no.
wondered about pacing myself.
Oh no. This is the final exam is I mean, it's 45 questions in 180 minutes, and you can use the internet. and
Okay.
you've got 2 chances.
Oh, you have 2 chances to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you did the project and the test, could you take the best of either one?
I generally do. And it's almost always going to be the project.
Okay.
Uh, and here's the thing: if you decide to do the project and you're working on it, and like you're in week 12, and like the world just goes insane. Not that it's not already insane, but it gets insaner.
Uh-huh.
And you can't do the final project anymore. Just do the test.
You can take the test instead. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if something happens, and I'm assuming that Brother Kirtland is cool with this, so if he's not, he'll come yell at me, which is fine. But that's how I generally do it.
Okay.
Because my guys have heard this before, but like I've been doing this class for about 7.5, 8 years now, and
Yeah.
something weird always happens in someone's life that causes things to go off the rails. So
Oh. Well, my whole life is like that, so if anything goes smooth, it'll be the exception.
there you go.
Um, he seems pretty flexible with
Yeah, he is. He's a
so
good guy.
far what we've done. So I could start building out the project.
Mhm.
If I don't like it, I could take the test.
Sure.
Okay. And
Mhm.
then if I did both, maybe he'd give me the best score of
I'm
the
sure he
two.
would.
Okay.
I'll let him know what I told you guys is cool. So he'll know what to expect. But if you did both of them and I were to grade both of them, it would only accept one of them. So
Right.
generally, I just excuse the one that I don't use. I think he does the same thing.
Okay. And then um are we allowed to take the test earlier than week 14?
I have people who finished the class already in my class.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to know.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, there's
cool.
no the thing about this class is there's no time limit on anything. So I generally have at least 1 or 2 students that finish the class by week 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, you
Yeah,
can
that's
find
what's
them.
going on in all my classes.
Yeah.
Like they're all getting through it pretty quick.
Yeah, yeah. And this is one of those classes where this class you can either like take the time and get a lot out of it, or just check the box, because not everyone here is going to be a DBA.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I'm home all day and all night and I have nothing else but school to do, so I just wondered.
You need to find some good series on TV or get a book or something.
I don't own a TV.
Oh, huh.
I
So,
just school.
but I was just teasing you. But yeah, so yeah, that's fine. If you want to just knock through it and do what you want to do to get done fast, then that saves you time in December.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
No problem. Any other questions, comments, thoughts, concerns?
Yeah, real quick. I assume that it doesn't just have to be like a business concept proposal. Like, could we theoretically do this for like an actual business?
Oh yeah,
Okay, sweet.
I have at least a half dozen students every semester who either own a business, their parents own a business, their family owns a business that needs a database. So yeah,
Sweet.
and again, it's one of those things that like I've had some students who've developed things. I'm like, you need to make this an app. Find somebody who can design a front end for you and sell this on an app store, because you'll get a couple of bucks. People love their apps. Any other questions, thoughts, concerns? Anyone who wants to talk about that? Anyone who has a final project idea you want to flesh out, or if not, I'm going to give you some.
I
Hit me,
I
Mike.
did I've got a I've been working on that database
Mhm.
and I was wondering if there would be at some point I could get some feedback on it.
Sure. The best way to do that is this week, whenever you're ready, instead of doing the Possum Pets project part, there's a lot of P's. Send me the schema with your questions.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I've got it all finished. I'm just working on the front end for it right now, so
Yeah.
um
Now,
cool.
did you
And
send me
then
an email about it?
no, I sent you an email with the business
Right.
proposal.
Yeah. 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 That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah. Yeah. So, oh, by the way, Laura and Sam, by the way, if you choose to do the final project, You can opt in the writing assignment for the week, which is that Possum Pets thing. You can use that instead of for Possum Pets. You can use it to communicate with me or Brother Kirtland on how the project is going.
Okay.
So, because I designed the Possum Pets thing to backdoor anyone who wasn't doing the final project into doing a final project.
Okay.
Because essentially that's what it is. I mean, I'm just guiding you through the final project and the Possum Pets thing. So if you're doing the final project, you can just like say, "Hey, I did this today. I have this question. Could you look at the schema and tell me what you think? Is there something missing? Blah blah blah." And
Okay.
also, there's always the opportunity if you need to, we can do some one-on-ones. Just let me know if you want to schedule one-on-ones with me. Just tell me what time is good for you, because my other work computer is over here, so I just need to turn around to come to this one. So just say, "Hey, this time is good for me. Can you be there?" And I'll say yes or no, rather
Okay.
than like ask me to schedule time for you, because I know when I'm available. I need to know when you're available.
Thank you.
Hmm. Audrey, I see you're going with the Coke products instead of Dr. Pepper this week. We had a long discussion on Dr. Pepper last week.
Basically, the
Hmm?
Coke products go.
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper was breaking the norm.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. I just
Yeah.
I told him last week that when I joined the church, every Mormon I knew drank Dr. Pepper, so I was convinced that the Dr. Pepper was owned by the church. All right. If
Oh,
there's nothing,
well,
hmm?
I had one more quick question.
Sure.
So with the final project, there's like all the PowerPoint and stuff like that. Is there any chance we might be able to do like a video
Yeah,
to
I actually prefer
supplement part of
videos.
it?
Hmm. I'd rather you did
Okay.
a video actually. I have to do both of them, but I prefer videos because I can watch that in 3 minutes rather than try to get through a PowerPoint.
Okay.
Hmm?
Awesome.
Yeah, and the video wants to be like 3 to 5 minutes. You're just basically saying, "Here's the project I did. Here's the schema. Here, watch me run some queries. This is why I did, and here's the problems I had."
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm. Any other questions? All right. Well, if not, then thank you for coming by tonight. I appreciate spending the time with you. We'll do this again next week, and I will go ahead and post the transcript and the video to the announcements in case you want to relive this. All right.
100%. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you next week.
Bye.